Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyron Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Four Tales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie deal level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the personal. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Four Tales.
I got stretch
Yeah.
because got to do it right. Unlike some people, can't do it right. So
Hey, you have 150 episodes on me. Like you got like LeBron James. You're LeBron James, and I'm Bronny James. When it comes to the intro, go ahead.
okay, all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions respectfully brings to you the 153rd episode of the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the Magenta award monger of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on the Agent of Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
I am so glad that you are back. You do not understand, sir.
I don't know. You and Wally did a good job last week.
Hey, man. Hey, listen, I appreciate you saying that, but the whole time, you realize I didn't say much during the show. I let Wally talk. I was looking at things on the screen and like, I don't want to touch anything, but I feel like I should be doing something. And I'm just
it's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's a lot. So mad respect. Like there's definitely an art to hosting and running a show at the same time. So big props to you, bro. And I'm glad you're back.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. It was
glad your hair is growing back too, because
I know. I just wish it grew back with black, but it's all gray now.
Yeah, it's gone. You're gonna be gray forever now.
No, that's why they call what's that? Touch of man touch.
You're gonna use that Beijing. You gotta use that Beijing. Gotta do it. I understand.
I gotta let it grow out a little bit more to do it, but yes.
Just paint it on there. You'll be fine. Take a paintbrush and just.
I've never had a full beard in my life.
Grow it out, man. You might like it.
No, I can't. I don't think you understand. I've gone half a year without shaving, and the only thing that grows is my beard or my mustache and goatee. Oh. I'll get the little strands here and there, and that's it.
Oh, wow.
Half a year.
Hey. Some of us have it, some of us don't. I am also in the some of us who don't, though. So,
okay, cool.
It can grow all down here, but this area does not fill in for sure.
Okay. So we're in the same boat on that. Yeah, Go ahead. Yell at your kids. It's all right.
No, I'm not gonna yell. She knows she's being rude. She needs to go upstairs. Yes, I am. Thank you. I love you. Go upstairs. Ask Kendra. Thank you. All right, back to the show.
That was a little one.
Yeah, that's Olivia.
I figured.
William Withers in the comments, man. How you doing, brother?
What's up, William? So, you and I, we will talk about the things that you messed up on last week, maybe offline. Yes. I'll give you some pointers. We definitely have to have Wally back on as a co-host because he did great.
Yeah, he really did.
He probably prepared better than either one of us have ever prepared for a guest.
His questions were really good. Like he had some in-depth, hard-hitting questions.
I'm like, damn it, Wally Riviera, what? Wally Springfield
Wally did great for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, but we have an amazing guest here. What the hell? Stream Elements is just wow. Okay,
hey, he's doing his job. He's doing his job today.
I really need to go back in there and change this because
shout out to the Chief Encouragement Officer on TikTok and my man Chuck Brown is in the audience on TikTok. We need to get you on the show.
Chuck Brown, I've been messaging you for like months to be on the show.
I talked to him at Charlotte Minicon, and he said he would be on the show, so we got to get him on the show for sure.
All right, cool. We gonna have you on the show eventually. I just want to see who you're yelling at now.
No, Olivia likes to write me notes and then have me answer it off screen. So,
share with the class.
She asked me. I don't know if you can read this. She asked me, can she eat one of her Kinder eggs?
And your answer was yes, right? Because you're a good dad.
Yes, I told her yes.
Because HW Pete, what's going on, sir?
Really good. She was really good in the store where we just came from. So I told her yes.
All right. Do you want to introduce our guest?
No, you got it, man. This is your show. No, this is your show, Kyron. I literally just come here. I just show up and for moral support at this point.
Should I just replace you with Wally?
Hey, it might be better. It might be.
All right, we got the amazing Neville Ward here, writer of Dragonfly. We got Stronger. We got Vegas Baby. I mean, he's doing everything, and we're glad to have him back on the show for a second time. Talk about Stronger. Give us some information, man. So how's it going?
Hey, fellas. How y'all doing? Thanks for having me back again. Really sorry for my laggy connection or whatnot. I hope you guys can hear me good.
Yeah, all right.
You're okay. You're all right. Yeah, you're okay. So for anybody who missed the first time that you were on our show or may have not seen your work before, give us a quick intro to you and what you do.
My name is Noble. I've been working in comics 20 years since I was in college. I am a family man, living in Atlanta. I am the owner, creator of Star Wars Comics. Look to the stars, look Star Wars, having and creating Black independent comic book characters that is to the stars and see yourself as more than you are. To be able to look into the stars and dream and see ourselves. That's the whole premise behind the company. That's what I do.
That's what I'm talking about. We need people to write things that just inspire, groups, especially right now, man. It's hard. This life is hard for a lot of people right now. I've been saying this since the beginning of the year. Life is really hard for a lot of people right now, and I think the things that we create that inspire and uplift and give people a chance to kind of escape reality are so important. But those things that we make, can really be impactful to people. So, did you decide from the beginning that you wanted to have an inspiring message, or did you just kind of stumble into that?
I did. I always knew I wanted to have an inspiring message once I knew what type of characters I wanted to create and write. Honestly, from being from West Virginia, my home state is only 3% Black population, right? And I lived in kind of a vacuum of 3%. And I lived kind of a vacuum of the Black experience, especially when it comes to the comic book community. Because as far as I knew, I was the only Black person on the planet who liked comic books. I didn't know anybody else that was into them like I was, that really thought they were cool, that read them, that went to the comic shops and bought them. Like I was really the only one. And I remember when I first created The Stronger is actually the first comic book I ever wrote and conceived of after Vegas. Yeah, Vegas was next. It's just that Vegas I have a higher breadth of stories I want to tell with Vegas. So that's why I put more energy into him first. But I remember having some trepidation about making my characters Black because I felt like characters were Black, right? So I got over that mental hurdle. I realized how stupid it was. I had the hurdle in the first place. So I was like, no, this isn't right that I should think that or I should feel that way. So I've ever had that experience. So I want to make sure that I write stories that will help inspire people to not even consider that or to be able to see themselves in a multitude of different facets and different those situations. So it wasn't always the message of the company because I didn't always have a company, but it definitely in terms of what I want to write, what I want to create for sure. Definitely the message I want to put out there.
Okay. So what is Stronger about?
So the Stronger, basically, instead of being the next stage of human evolution like the X-Men, in this world of the stronger, they are the next stage of human consciousness. So basically, faith you believe in, what your faith is, becomes power. And of course, because a lot of different faiths and religious and spiritualities, the holy war breaks out to determine which one of these is the stronger. Well, there's a whole lot of subplots in it. It's kind of like a spiritual thriller with kind of a political thriller too, because the whole basis is, when you really get to the nuts and bolts of the story, is that, you know, for centuries the West has been dominating over the world because of technology. But what happens if, you know, these people who have faith-based powers, most of the religious people that I know, or most religious folk, are in the East. So what if these people in Sudan or, you know, Afghanistan and these Muslim countries become, you know, the superpowers because of their faith and their religion and whatnot? And how does the U.S. respond to that? All of that stuff is kind of wrapped up into the overall subplots of what's happening in the story.
Okay,
I like that. I think there's a lot of potential, like even historically, in stories about, you know, religion and groups of people being together, you know, believing in certain things for good and for bad. You know, I think there's a lot of, you know, potential in stories centered around faith and how it makes you act. You know,
Right.
So I'm definitely interested in that. Is that something that you how do I say? Is that something that you decided to talk about because of your life experience, or something that you just observed and you wanted to talk about?
A little bit of both. You know, I really thought it was. No, I grew up Southern Baptist, you know, in West Virginia, and religion was a big part of my foundation when I was a younger man, and I just really felt like it would be a good way to tell some really dope stories without really going into the religion as much. Like, I'm not trying to hit people over the head with the Bible or Quran or anything like that, because it's not really about the religion itself. It's more so about the concepts of your faith, your spiritual constitution, and you being able to affect the physical world because of that, and how that will look for different people, and what type of situations that kind of, you know. And I just felt like it was cool. You know, when I came up with the concept, it was just something that really stuck with me. Like I said, it was the first book I ever wrote. And I felt like it was a really strong concept, and I just kind of was waiting to really put more energy into it and really develop it. And now I feel like it's the time to do that.
Now, you had a Kickstarter for The Stronger like 2 or 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Are you coming out with another issue? Is it a revamp of what you're doing?
Yes, this is going to be issue 2, right? Issue 1 is done. It's been done for a long time. It's just something I've been promoting, unfortunately, a lot, because, again, I really wanted to get to the first story arc with Vegas, baby. Like, that was really my main bread and butter. I wanted to get that graphic novel done, to be able to have that, because I felt like that unlocks a whole lot of selling potential. You know, when I go to cons or things like that, it does a lot when you can give them a graphic novel, say, hey, this is a finished story, a finished product. You know, you can read this from front to back. So I really was focused on getting there, and now I'm trying to make that same push with Stronger. So this is actually a Kickstarter for issues 1 and 2. So this is the next issue of Stronger that's coming out, and the artwork and everything is already done with this issue. It does need to be lettered, but that's going to be, you know, that's no time to get the letter, as you guys know. So yeah, like it's really something I'm really excited about, really wanting to get into. And what I'm going to do with this Kickstarter is define more so the message of what the Stronger is about, what the world is, and really help people get a real sense of the book itself.
Okay. Is this have you already put up the link for the sign up page, or when is it going live?
So it'll be going live for it's going to take about a month or so. Like, I'm really taking my time with this to really make sure I refine the page and the branding and all that stuff. I have the pre-sale link. It actually I just got it yesterday. I haven't actually put it out yet, but I do have it. I can put it in the chat or give it to you guys so that you guys can post it up. So this will be like the debut of the Notify.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So you already have 2 other books in. Well, you have 3 books with Stronger in your universe. How do these 3 books connect and all?
Stronger doesn't connect to Vegas or Dragonfly.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be its own little book. It's kind of like almost like my Elseworlds kind of thing. It was something that's separate completely from both of those. Dragonfly and Vegas, they do connect though.
Okay.
They are very much intertwined in what they do and how the storylines are going to like weave in and out of each other. But this one is going to be kind of completely separate. When I initially conceived of the Dragonfly Vegas, I saw those as books that could go on like as long as Invincible, like the 50s, 100s, or whatever. It's what I aspire to do with those. The Stronger, I wanted to be more of a finite kind of story. So I'm thinking it was Stronger will be 25 at most 50 issues, depending on how the story goes. But no more than that. I definitely want that to have an end.
I love how he's like only 50 issues. Like that's just nothing.
Right. I'm ambitious, man. I believe it. Like I feel like us as Black creators, I think that we have a right to try to make that happen for ourselves and to really push that. Especially when you look at things from Image or whatnot. I've seen stuff come out of Image that really I felt wasn't half as good as some of the stuff that I see you guys put out or myself. And it keeps going. It gets its legs eventually. And I myself, and I believe I have the right to have it and to make it into existence. And I think there's a movement of Black indie comic book creators that are out there that are really out there doing it, really producing work, really making it happen. And I think it's only a matter of time before one of us, some of us, all of us really hit a stride to where we can really produce these books more. That's the faith that I'm moving into the future with. I think Ace Blades on issue number 7, 8, 9.
We're on 9 right now. We're trying to get 10 by the end of the year.
Look at that. Look at that, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. See, so like I just think that these numbers aren't, amorphous things or intangible things that we can't achieve or can't do. Like we can really do this. We can support each other. We can be fans of each other. And we can really build some content that people remember that we were here at this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I think I always think about how we as a community, I know it's kind of a niche within a niche when it comes to like Black comic book creators and Black comic book stories. Because like just like you, when I was growing up, well, first of all, when I was growing up, I didn't read comic books. I watched all the cartoons, but I didn't have access to comic books. But when I started reading comic books, I didn't, I felt like I needed permission to create, Black characters, like you're saying. Like I actually didn't make Ace Blade Black. Like the co-creator of Ace Blade, the white guy, was like, he should be Black. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. He's gonna be Black. So Christoph, had more belief in that initially than I did. Like I felt like even when I'm making characters, I seen somebody post a TikTok recently saying where somebody was asking, hey, why do Black people always make all their characters Black? And I went back through and I need to do a response to that video because I went back through and I was like, the characters that are in Ace Blade, yes, Ace Blade is Black, Blackjack is Black, and Rooster is Black. But the other 12, 13 characters that you see in the story, they are different races. Most of them are white. I got a Puerto Rican lady. I got, I got an Asian dude. I got, all kinds of characters. So I just don't think that's, it's a stigma that I think we have against us. And I'm not sure if we need to work against it because I don't think it's true, So have you,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me finish the question.
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask you, do you think it's a stigma? Do you think it's something that we need to lean into or something that we need to pull away from?
I think it is a little bit of a stigma. And I do think that it's something that we should lean into only because, like, I don't know any white creators that are like, hey, this is my main character. He's Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many white people are going around making Black characters or Asian characters? And, like, that's, like, the guy that they're champion. You know what I'm saying? Like a part of, to me, what I feel like when I really look at a character that you created yourself, like if this is like your main guy, like that's going to tell me a little bit about who you are as a person. Subconsciously, you're going to put some of yourself into this character if you created it and you're writing it and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're going to write what you know about.
Yeah. You know, when I created Vegas, I didn't know I was going to go bald. I had a full head of hair. I had braids down to here.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain things in terms of his personality that I really like in terms of how I see myself in certain aspects. You know what I'm saying? Even the fact that he's married and he's polyamorous and all that stuff, that's all part of my lifestyle, what I do. And I feel like that's what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really look at their own interviews, like, they put a lot of, like, Kirby put a lot of himself into the Fantastic Four, you know, and the Big Grill. You know what I'm saying? Like Steve Ditko, a little bit of his stuff was in Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't believe. You know, even Todd McFarlane, he created Spawn, which was a black man, but Spawn's wife's name was Wanda, which was his wife's name. You see what I'm saying? Like, he still put a little bit of himself or his world in that character. He just was like, you know what? I know that I can make a character black and he'd be successful because that's why I respect him so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he basically had a black book. I think that's because he broke down Rule of 3. It happened. And but yeah, I think it's something that we should lean into. You know, like or afraid or to really promote and sell our black characters when we're black. I think the main thing that we have to worry about is the stigma that we don't support each other as black people. That's the main thing I think that we have to really overcome and fix is that, you know, the black dollar will go towards, as a culture, we tend to gravitate what's new, what's popping, what's flashy, what's exciting. And we want black stuff. We want black stuff from like the mainstream people. You know, we want more Storm. We want more Marvel stuff. We want more animations with all these different characters. We want Superman to be black or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if we can shift the culture a little bit, if guys like Royo, who is doing this Iyana cartoon coming out, I think something like that, it could be a really big staple to kind of like break the glass ceiling for us as independents, that so that we do have value, we do have good content, and that that they will come looking for us if we have enough. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not because the main thing I think that Royo really had over most of us is that he had a bunch of graphic novels. Right? He didn't even do single issues. He did ESO Volume 1, ESO Volume 2. Then he did Malika, you know, Volume 1, Volume 2. Then he did this thing where he brought everybody together. He had Windmaker. Then he did Iyanu. You know what I'm saying? He had a lot of proof of concepts with his market and his niche to where he had complete stories. And I think that if any of us can get to that point where we have complete stories that are out there that are hidden and tap into that niche, then if we can really market and promote our books, make some noise, there is a fan base out there. And to me, I think that comic books are like the ultimate beta test for what can be leverageable in other forms of media. If you can cultivate a good fan base in a comic, there's no way you can't do it in an animation or a TV show or a movie from the same IP if you can do it in comics.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that's just how I feel about it.
I agree with you. I think it's of course it's difficult to get to, you know, that proof of concept because that's different for everybody. I believe that, you know, when I get to this 10th issue of Ace Blade, like, I'm gonna be able to say, here, look, y'all see what it is at this point. Y'all can see it. You know, we did single issues, we got graphic novels, we got content out online, you know, and I think that for me, in my head, that's the hurdle or that's the level I got to get to really feel like, you know, we can make it to that next level. But we all know that it's hard. It's hard to get to, you know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 issues. It's difficult. But thankfully, you know, we got platforms like Kickstarter that we can crowdfund on, and we got, you know, communities of people that we can that we can depend on. I'm curious, what do you think is the biggest what is the biggest advantage that we have, as a Black community, as Black comic book creators? What is the biggest advantage that we have for creating? Because we always talk about the negatives, like we always talk about the things that that keep us back. As far as somebody might say that we need a cosign. You might say that you need a celebrity endorsement. You might it's hard to beat the algorithm. Like some people might say Black people don't read comics. But what are some of the good things that come from making Black comics?
Well, for me, I think some of the good things are the fact that there's a lot of untapped potential with us. If you look at indie comics as a whole, I'm sure you can find an indie comic where there's a white guy in space, with starships, and he's a captain of a ship or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of books of Black people doing that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of Black ships, a lot of books of Black ships are being like a pirate or something like that. Like just the fact if we could put our Black faces, Black creators in a multitude of different situations, we have a more chance of being a little bit more unique, just because it's like our certain swag or energy is incorporated into it. And I think a lot of stories that just haven't really been for Black people for Black people. And I think that you guys are around my age. I know that we can both really sit back and think of movies that we went to, right? Or shows that we watched back in the 90s and 80s that did not have a single Black person in them anywhere. And there's no reason that
we can't actually.
Say again?
You still can. There's still shows.
Lord of the Rings proved that point.
Seriously.
The Princess Bride is one of my favorite movies all time. There's not a single Black person in that movie.
Yeah, and I think there's no reason that we can't tell stories like that doesn't have to have a white face in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that are our stories with our flair in it, with our, thing. And that's one of the things I like most about Royo, the guy who did ESO and all that stuff, is that he was very not apologetic about this stuff being, very African based and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You can say what you will, like he didn't have like his writing wasn't my favorite at first. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't a matter of like if you liked the writing or not. It was like the story was good, it was decent, the concepts were straight. To me, he's like almost like the Tyler Perry of Black comics. Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what he's been able to do, and that he knew what he was doing, and I respect it, and I think that there is a lane for us to be able to do that and to branch out in that stuff with the right marketing, with the right PR, with the right branding. Mm-hmm. It's going to take us like getting out, like the one of my goals is to be able to do more conventions this year, try to get more interviews, try to get on more sites, because I got dope stuff and people need to know about it. I need to put it in people's faces. If I do, they're going to like it. I know it. And I encourage you guys to do the same thing, because I know y'all got dope stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if you want to check out a Black character in space, you can check out my book. It's called Ruby from Planet Oz. It's sci-fi take of the Wizard of Oz. Right. So, I mean, it is available at TaurusComics.com. Just letting it out there.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Kyron, tell him.
Yeah, it's Notorious Plus.
No, but it's true because, and I think Sebastian said this last week with Wally and Danny, is that a lot of mainstream media, when they look at a Black character, they're only looking at it as sort of like a checkbox mentality. Does this character do A, B, and C? Okay, we're going to approve it. And it's up to us to show them that we can do more than just be the standard stereotype of what we see in the media.
You were actually watching the show.
I went back and watched that show, dude. I wasn't on it, but I'm going to watch it.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just important, really. It just really comes with, to me, more than anything, what really matters is content. And then having it be really clear and package what your character does, who they are, what you're communicating to the customer. That's something that my homeboy, Vince White, has kind of been stressing and teaching to me and telling me about. in terms of like what it is you're really going to communicate to your customers about the books and whatnot. And I feel like it's just really going to help. It would help all of us to really get that information and to not be afraid to help each other and tell everybody the secrets. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this is what I know. What do you know? What do you got? Like stuff like that. Like, I think a lot of times, sometimes us as Black people have been made to develop this kind of like crabs in a bucket mentality. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is, it's not a behoove any of us to do that. If one of us succeeds, we can all look at it as a chance to succeed.
I agree. I think that one thing that could be better in the Black community though is that we don't always share the information that we get. I think because we're all learning on our own. A lot of us are learning on our own. Like literally everything that I've learned in the 10 years I've been making comic books, I learned from other creators. I learned every step along the way. And that's crazy, Sarah. That's crazy. And
eighth play guy.
And I think that I don't even remember what I was saying now. Sarah doesn't mess me up. No, I think that we could share our information better. I think that because there are so many cliques and stuff, even within the Black community, you got your groups and things where some people don't get along. I wish we could just get past it so that we could share the information, because there are some people doing some amazing things in our community and we could learn from each other.
Do you think a lot of us don't share because we're scared of somebody overtaking us? And that idea that if we share this idea, they're going to use that to strive farther than what I can do on my own. I mean, do you feel like that's something that we struggle with?
Yeah, they.
I think it is mainly. Mainly. I think it is mainly because of the way that there are traditionally, when it comes to a certain level of success, there has been gatekeepers, and the Black mentality has always been that there can only be so many at the top at a certain time. It was the same way in the 80s when it comes to like comedians. You know what I'm saying? If Richard Pryor was hot, then that was it. He's the one getting the movie roles. If now Eddie Murphy's hot, he's it. Or the Chris Rock, it was hard for them to believe that there could be more than one, because the perception was that the gatekeepers weren't going to let more than one get it, right? Mm-hmm. And that's still the mentality, I think, when it comes to me, the independent comic game is kind of like the hip hop game a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It can be kind of ruthless and kind of cutthroat, and it doesn't really need to be, because the fact is, we all do different stuff. We all have different niches. We all have different, if Ace Blade blows up, it doesn't take away from anything that I'm doing. It doesn't detract from me at all. If anything, I feel like, let's do a team up, something with me and do Ace Blade, just do Vegas, get a little poster out.
If Ace Blade blows up, I'm gonna be right there to ride those coattails. I'm just letting you know.
and I'm gonna listen. I'm the type of person that if I blow up, I want everybody to blow up. You know what I'm saying? But same thing for you and Noble, you and Kyron, man. If something that you have blows up, I'm gonna make sure that I'm still talking about these books that I got of y'all's, and that we continue the momentum. And I think that's the way to do it for sure.
But there is a mentality, and I want to get to William's question real quick. But there is a mentality also that I think a lot of us struggle with, is this idea that we have to do it on our own. There's this idea that if somebody helps you, you're not actually doing it, or you're not worthy of any success you have because somebody helps you. And I think that's also something that stops a lot of us, is that this idea that you can't do it unless you're doing it 100% on your own. And a lot of us fail because of that.
I'm glad I got over that a long time ago.
And the fact is, if you look at anybody who's really successful, nobody's done it on their own. So I'm saying that's not really how it works.
Except for Michael Jordan, apparently.
Really. even him, you know what I'm saying? He can say what he wanted.
Yeah,
he knew he needed Scotty at least.
Right. And
he needed Scotty. He needed
Steve Kerr and John Paxson. He had his white guy with him also helping it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You need
that coach is pretty good. I'm just saying.
Yeah. William Withers asked, how did you and Vince hook up?
Vince and I hooked up a long time ago, about 7, 8, actually more like 10 years ago. During the whole Powerverse thing. We actually were cool before that kind of blew up. It became a pretty big thing with Willpower and whatnot. I really believe in Vince. I really love Vince. He is like a really good dude. Hasn't been treated fairly, I think, by the indie comic book community. That's a whole other story. I don't want to go too deep in that because I want to mention it without him being here. But I will say that one thing that people tend to do as Black people, we tend to write other people off. It's the same thing the system does when you get a misdemeanor or a felony or something like that. Like, you kind of get cast out by society as a Black person. It's like you don't have any value anymore. Debts marks for Black people. Here could be a his life in all of his movies, and then he gets a chance to do Iron Man and turn his life around. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Majors has a misdemeanor, run away from a chick, and his career is supposedly over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just gonna say Jonathan Majors might do it. We gonna have to wait and see.
We'll see. He's supposed to be in the next. What is it? The Doomsday or God damn it? What's the next?
There's some rumors. There's some rumors.
Yeah,
so.
There's some rumors he's gonna come back as Kang.
I mean, I hope he does, because frankly, like, Marvel kind of started taking when that happened. Like, I don't know, that movie, nothing else Marvel done has been really that great, in my opinion. And because they didn't know what to do or how to really kind of.
I wasn't really feeling the Ant-Man movie itself, but there was some good. There was some
good. It could have been better.
Terrible way to like introduce like who's supposed to be your main villain for your story. Like, he gets beat by Ant-Man. Ant-Man beats him what? Come on, man.
Ant-Man has a thing with the Black characters, man. He beat Anthony Mackie, then he beat I'm gonna have to watch that Ant-Man guy, as a matter of fact. But anyway, let's get to my favorite part of the show. Quick takes. Kyron, I'm ready when you are. For anybody who hasn't seen the show, Quick Takes is a rapid Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. Nova, I know you've done this before, so we got some new questions for you. All right. You're gonna have 45 seconds to answer each question. We're gonna ask you 5 questions, and we're gonna end with a top 5 list. So, question number 1: the internet needs to know. Kyron, I want your answer too, and I'm gonna give my answer. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
No. Pineapple on pizza. I grew up in the 80s when Ninja Turtles were new. When Ninja Turtles first came out, and they put everything on their pizza, and I wanted to be a Ninja Turtle, so I had to do it too. So I put everything on my pizza when I was a kid. Corn, pineapples, you name it, because they like weird stuff on their pizza. I was a Ninja Turtle, so yes. Pineapple on pizza.
I love pineapple on pizza. It's one of my favorites, and I corrupted my daughter with it too. So absolutely, Kyron, you.
I love pineapple on pizza. It can't go. You can't go wrong with it. Honestly, you got that sweetness and the savoriness of it. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's
all right.
Yeah. Now, as I'm older, I do prefer meat lovers though. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Question number 2 is a question that we ask a lot of comic book creators. You've been doing this for a while now. I want to know what is, in your opinion, is the best part of making comics, and what's the worst part of making comics?
Ooh, best part of making comics is writing out a script and getting pages back from your team. Mm-hmm. Like when your artist sends you a page, and when your colorist puts colors to that page, it's like Christmas. It feels like you're getting a present. So even though you paid for the present, but it's like somebody took the time and energy to devote like 8 hours or whatever it is to draw out a page of yours that you created. And it feels like Christmas getting those pages, saying, getting that artwork in. That's the best thing to me, is seeing people's reaction to it. The worst part is those artists taking forever to get you those pages, man. It'd be like taking forever sometimes. Like, man, like, where you at? So it's got the best
waiting for it. Hey, I know what you mean. Okay.
Hey, question. No, you don't. You don't know. No.
I do. Every artist isn't Kyron and Wally. Like, I've worked with some folks I've had to wait for, but you know, it's a give and take. You know, things happen. You gotta wait for people. You know, you gotta roll with the punches. So question number 3. I get all the time because my last name is Quick. People expect me to be fast for some reason. I don't get it, but hey, it is what it is. Have you felt any added pressure with your last name being Noble?
No. Well, my first name is Noble.
First name
Noble Ward.
See, that's what I.
Do you want to redo the question now?
Yeah. So people say that no, with your first name being Noble, do people expect you to be present yourself in a certain way?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I've had several ladies I've dated when I'm acting in a way that they don't like, or they think that like I should be doing something different the way they think I should be doing it. They'll be like, well, "That's not very noble of you, Noble." Like you're like, what? What do you mean? Like, she's like, you're not acting noble right now. You're being a jerk or whatever. I'm like,
damn.
What?
They think they're so clever.
So yeah, I have had women throw that in my face before, but yeah, it doesn't really bother me. I love it. I love my name. I love who I am. Like I feel like I represent it pretty well.
Absolutely.
Sarah says, "I do not like that question." You don't like the question about what, Sarah? Sarah White.
I'm sure people expect Sarah to be white. Question number 4. I saw that you were talking a couple of days ago, maybe it was last week, about the Diamond distribution deal. So in 45 seconds, if you were to buy Diamond, if you were to go into that auction and lay down a deal and you won the rights to everything that Diamond has, what would you change about the company to bring it back out?
Ooh, man, that would be kind of rough. I think one of the main things that messed Diamond up was they weren't getting their invoices paid or things like that, and they lost their big contracts with Marvel and DC and all of that stuff. I would kind of being me who I am. If I were to take over Diamond, I would start a independent distribution, one of our own publication. I would brand it in a particular way, but I would make it to where guys like you two, Greg Alize, and then guys that I know that are really doing it in the Black indie comic space, I would really put them on the focus, make them the focus.
I love it.
That works because we're about to buy it. Danny and I we're pulling our money. We're going to buy it, so it's cool.
Yeah, I put $10 in. So
all right, I got 5 on it.
I feel like we.
Shoot, I
feel like we got a good shot at it. And Sarah. There's nothing wrong with being white. We love our white friends.
We love all our white friends.
Yeah. Come on. So question number 5. Now we always have folks do a top 5 list off the top of their heads. Now I happen to know.
Okay. I
have it on good authority that you are a Street Fighter aficionado.
Okay? I do like Street Fighter.
So I want to know.
Like that
I want to know from 5 to 1. What are your top 5 Street Fighter characters?
Ooh. From 5 to 1. 5 to 1. Okay. Oh man. I really 5 I'll say Ken. I think Ken's cool, even though I think they make him a little bit too OP for too often.
Yeah,
4, I'm gonna say Kimberly, because I think Kim was pretty cool. I like that they put up in the background like that.
Okay.
3, I'm gonna say Elena, because she's kind of like Storm, but tall with the short white hair, and I really kind of want to see what she's gonna do with her in Street Fighter 6. So I got 2 left. 2. Oh crap! I know number 1 is Ryu. That's what I'm gonna say. Number 1's Ryu. I can't think of. I got 4. I'm not sure about 5.
I'm gonna put Akuma at 2 because he's my favorite. So.
Chun-Li's at 2. Chun-Li's at 1. Screw both y'all. Chun-Li's at 1.
Chun-Li. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you doing that for us. This week
Sagat was 2. My fault. I forgot Sagat. Sagat was 2. I like
Sagat. I like it. I couldn't
think of his name.
I appreciate you doing that for us. This week, quick text is brought to you by Gemini Comic Supply. If you go to GeminiComicSupply.com and use the promo code AceBlade, you will get 10% off your entire order.
We apologize, Gemini, that last week we did not mention that.
We didn't at all.
We did not mention that, Gemini, so don't
Baraka.
hate us. Baraka is Mortal Kombat fish.
That is Mortal Kombat
You're
fish.
in the whole wrong realm.
That's a whole other franchise.
Kick him out the thing.
All right, we got to kick
it. Oh, hey. Oh. Hey, guys, my son just popped up.
Hey.
Cool.
What's up, little noble?
It's my son, Chosen.
Chosen. Is he from Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai? Maybe. I'm going to have to put him in something.
See, you're putting pressure on him, too. You got Noble, and now you got Chosen. See? Putting pressure on.
His name is Chosen Noble Ward.
There we go.
Okay.
I love
All right.
Yeah. Gotta keep it going.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being on today, taking the time to talk to us about Stronger. We want to make sure that our audience follows you and keeps up with everything that happens. Because I know you said you have issue 2 coming out, but where are the best spots on the internet for them to maybe follow your work and keep up with you?
Best place right now is just on Instagram. That's it's Star Wars Comics on Instagram. That's really the best place to find me. I got a website coming. It's not out yet, but you can buy my comics through the link in bios at the Instagram. Mm-hmm. So anything that I already have out, you don't have to wait for a Kickstarter if you want to get, Vegas Baby graphic novel, the Dragonfly, issue 1 of the Stronger. You can buy anything that I have out. Already published. Do those. So yeah. Okay.
And Danny, where can people check out your work?
Right now, if you want to find me, the best place to go is our website, fourthwallpros.com, where you can buy all of our comic books. And if you want to get me on social media, it's the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me about to ban Mr. Fish Comics. We're talking about Pac-Man as the best playable character. This is not Smash Bros. What? No,
right.
You can't just add characters to this.
Mr. Game, you gonna say Mr. Game and watch next? Get it together.
But you can go to tauruscomics.com to follow my work and maybe pick up some books. You can also follow me at all social media platforms at Taurus Comics. And this is your first time checking out the Four Tales podcast, you can go to our website. That is fourtalespodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast.com. You can listen to our previous episodes, check out some merchandise, support us in that way. But join us next week where it's end of the month. We're going to do a recap. We might switch it up, maybe do a little bit of fun and games, have some people with us and play some games. We don't know, but join us back here. Same bat time, same bat channel. But until then, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.